Welcome to my journey into the media world. We're back with another match preview. As I said before, the games come thick and fast in this Project Restart. I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by former Wolverhampton Wanderers goalkeeper and current Sky Sports pundit Matt Murray. Matt, how are you, mate?
I'm very good. My team are flying, so I'm happy.
We'll go on to talk about that, I'm sure. First of all, Matt, I want to thank you for coming on and having a chat with me. Just a word on the Aston Villa Wolves rivalry, because, of course, from a Villa fan's point of view, I think it was hyped up a lot in the Championship when we were both fighting for that promotion spot, and obviously it's carried on into the Premier League. So what's your thoughts on the rivalry overall?
Yeah, look, I grew up in the area, so I grew up in Lichfield. A lot of Villa fans there. They always want to talk how they're the biggest club in the Midlands. Obviously won the European Cup. I actually went to school with Dennis Mortimer's son, so he was captain of Aston Villa when they won the European Cup. So, look, they've been in the Premier League for a long time, probably been the top dogs of the Midlands, if you like. Still remember when Wolves beat Villa 1-0 with a Matt Jarvis goal, which was nice at Villa Park. But all in all, Villa, you'd say, had been the bigger side, the bigger and more successful side of recent history. Then, when, as you say, in that promotion year, I thought Wolves gave Villa a lesson at Molineux, beat them 2-0. But then at Villa Park, Wolves lost 4-1, had a lot of the ball, but Villa's game plan was bang on, and the Villa fans enjoyed that. So I think that, they say that hurt Wolves. But since obviously back in the Premier League now, I was at the game when Wolves beat Aston Villa 2-1, and I thought
I didn't enjoy that one bit, but
well, it's your first half performance. It's difficult. You lost Jed Steer early on. First half performance, you weren't at it, but then you did grow into the game second half. But what I would say, I think everyone would agree that at this moment in time, Wolves will be favourites going into this. They're flying under Nuno. They're pushing for European places, and Villa are battling for their lives and for survival. So to go with the rivalry, Wolves enjoy it at this moment in time because they feel that they're the favourites, and it's not often that you've said that going into these fixtures. So there's a big rivalry, and the fans will be up for it at home, and the players have to get up for it on the pitch.
Yeah, from my perspective, I sort of like to hype it up a little bit more with obviously where I live in Wolverhampton. I love to have that little bit of banter with my mates on a match day. But for me, Villa and Blues are always our main rivals. I'm sure you'll agree in terms of West Brom and Wolves. Moving on to the team's current forms, I like to look at the team's current forms. Of course, from a Villa's perspective, it's been a bit up and down. We got that controversial 0-0 draw against Sheffield United, and then against Chelsea, we weren't at it, were we? Chelsea were all over us, and there was questions asked of Dean Smith and the team. And then against Newcastle last night, we were a lot better. I thought we were a lot better in the first half than we was against Chelsea. However, it was a must-win, and we never got that win. And then obviously for Wolves, I'll let you talk a bit about Wolves. They're flying high. They've continued where they left off before lockdown, haven't they?
Yeah, I think you have to credit the Wolves players how they've come back in and put into really good performances. I thought West Ham away, pretty tight game, but then Adama Traore, who's ex-Villa, came on and changed the game. Wolves like to do that, play 3-5-2 and then swap to a 3-4-3 and get into games, clean sheet. Then against Bournemouth, again, tight game, hard to break them down. I'm sure you Villa fans will be happy to see Wolves taking points off off West Ham, and then off Bournemouth as well. So again, Adama Traore, that combination. You know what a Traore wants to do, but what he's doing now, which he didn't do in his first season at Wolves or when he was at Aston Villa's end product. So, he's really, really good, but it's another clean sheet. So Wolves have been very, very strong defensively, look very fit, look organised, good at controlling the team without the ball. So out of possession, Wolves look strong. And then when they get it, they're good at counter-attacking or hitting the switches. So Aston Villa have played that extra game as well. So that's going to be tough for them. The quick volume, you say, the games are coming thick and fast. Difficult to turn it around. But what I would say is Aston Villa will be looking at it thinking, well, West Ham have lost both their games. They'll be watching, seeing, obviously they want to react to the other teams dropping points around them. Norwich lost, all those sort of things. So they've got to go in there, stay focused, but certainly be very, very wary of Wolves in that transition and that counter-attack. So I think that Villa are the ones that have got to go and win it more because they want to, they've got to win their home games, but they know that they can't commit too many bodies forward because when Wolves flip it, boom, they
Yeah.
can really, really hurt teams. So, but I do think it'll be quite a tight game. But I never bet against me babbies.
Yeah. You mentioned there about Villa will have a lot to play for, and of course, it's very well. You're on the same level of points as Manchester United. So where's this rank in terms of importance? Because from a Villa perspective, games are coming thick and fast, and we need to, somehow pick up the points. But then for you also, I'm sure you'll be wanting with the Manchester City situation to maybe get into the Champions League spots.
Yeah, I think for Wolves, it's been an unbelievable journey, if you like, a meteoric rise. Nuno came in, won the championship. Second year, qualified for the Europa League. Third year, dealing with the volume of games, whether it's Thursday, Sunday, then with
And they've dealt
lockdown
with that
coming back.
criticism well.
Yeah, dealt with it really, really well. They've never used it as an excuse. That's why I think Wolves are strong going into this. They're used to a small squad anyway. Everyone's staying fit, peaking, having to deal with all kick-off times, when they're travelling to different time zones. The players always peak, so they've got strength in depth. The 5 subs as well help Nuno. He always used to like to make 2 subs on the hour mark anyway. So I think, look, of course, there's the local rivalry. You want to beat Aston Villa, of course you do. You want to send that message and send your fans home happy. But as you said there, it's very, very tight. And it's not, I know it sounds crazy because a few years ago, but we are actually seriously talking about Wolves having 2 bites of the cherry to get into the Champions League. So they finished 4th or 5th, which is very achievable. As you said, they could still catch Chelsea. They play them last game of the season. They're up the right level on points in Manchester United. Then, if they did just miss out on the Champions League through the league, they've still got a good chance of getting through the next round of the Europa League and going into that competition. So Wolves are absolutely flying. They say they're brimming with confidence, pretty settled side, fully fit. So they'll be very, they'll really believe that they can go into this game and get a good result.
Yeah, and next I want to move on to the team news and the danger men. First of all, the danger men. 2 players I want to pick out. You mentioned one already, Adama Traore and Jack Grealish. He's been, in terms of Jack Grealish, I think you mentioned yesterday on Sky Sports about the position he was playing. He was very deep, and that's been a problem for Dean Smith and Aston Villa. And yesterday I was still relatively surprised with how deep he was playing. But in order for Villa to be successful, then we have to get Jack Grealish on the ball as much as possible. And then, of course, I don't need to say much about him. You talked about his development, Adama Traore. So talk to me about those 2 players and how important those 2 are to the side on Saturday.
Yeah, both match winners, absolute match winners, talisman for the team. I would say that I think Adama Traore is fantastic for Wolves, and Villa will try and stop him. But there's other danger men all over the pitch. I do feel that Wolves have a stronger squad. If it's, Jimenez through the middle's fantastic. Diogo Jota, Neto coming on. There's just so many real danger men.
I think the goal last night proved that, the build-up play from Adama Traore and Raul Jimenez.
Yeah, and what a header. What a header. But they've done that so many times where Traore will deliver and put balls in. He scores goals himself. So I think that's the thing for Wolves. Wolves are also a threat from set pieces. They've got plenty of height. So going back to Jack Grealish, he's your captain. He's your main man. He loves the club. I think if he didn't have such an affection for the club, he wouldn't have been able to keep him. But it was interesting listening to Merce. And Merce is saying maybe because Grealish is so honest, he's like the kid in the playground, running the show for Aston Villa. He's on throw-ins, corners, you know what I mean? He's on everything, free kicks. And he's probably dropping deep because he doesn't feel, you talk there about the link-up play, getting the ball into Traore, getting the ball into Jimenez. At the moment, Aston Villa aren't able to find Jack Grealish in those dangerous positions because we've seen against Brighton, against Manchester United, numerous teams, if you get him in those areas, he'll either create, he'll score. So he's tracking back because he's playing on that left side, helping out defensively. Even if he is a bit more central, he's dropping deep to try and get the ball to play. And he's not in those areas that are going to hurt Wolves on Saturday, for example. So that's a bit that I felt when Dean Smith first came into Villa. He changed that. Steve Bruce didn't have Grealish in such an effective role. I remember watching him in the last game of Steve Bruce's reign, and Grealish played out wide. Dean Smith had him playing in central area. I remember scoring against Preston, things like that. And I just feel that I understand that they want Jack Grealish drifting into pockets and getting in those areas, but I still feel that Jack Grealish, if you can get him in that 10 role, you've got the legs of McGinn, Douglas Luiz, whoever it is, to sit and be a bit more disciplined. I feel they've got to try and get Jack Grealish into those areas where he can have a match-winning moment, and that will be the thing. So Wolves have got to stop the supply to him and hurt him, but at the same time, that is what Aston Villa need to do if they're going to win the game.
Yeah, and when we played you in November, Jack Grealish was out injured, so it'd be interesting to see how Wolves can cope with the addition of Grealish on wherever he plays. Personally, for me, he's got to play in the middle. Talking about the system and the team news for Villa, in my opinion, I would change up the system and go for a 5-2-1-2 formation. I feel like we have to have the width with Target and the fullbacks, and then I just think yesterday when we brought two up top on, and we had Jack Grealish behind him, we looked a lot better with two up top, and it allowed Samatta to run onto the balls while Keenan Davis was holding up the play. So, in my opinion, if that is the system that Dean Smith adopts or something similar, how do you think Wolves will cope with that?
I think what the issue is, Villa at the moment, I think Conte's been playing right back, hasn't he? Gilbert's not fit. So it's really hard when you've got such a quick turnaround of games. Wolves know that they're going to play a back three, and whether it's a 3-5-2 or 3-4-3, they're very drilled and very fluid in that system. To now be able to do the work for Aston Villa to go to a back three and play in the system you're talking about might be a little bit difficult, and talking about positioning, and obviously you've got to see what personnel is available. But I imagine you're saying there that makes Courtney House and Tyrone Mings a little bit more in their natural positions, all being centre back. So I understand what you're saying. The issue with Wolves is they create overloads out wide when they do that by, say, Traore going out to help, to work with Doherty and working the switches, or Johnny Otto and whoever it is on the other side. So I think that I just feel that on a training ground, would they have enough time to employ that system? So I imagine Villa will go 4-3-3. I think, and even drop into a 4-5-1 out of possession, trying to stay compact, trying to slide, dealing with the wing backs of Wolves, like I said, and it's whether he plays Keenan Davis or Samatta up top to link the play, and maybe try and play on Connor Cody if they can with the physical element of it. But Connor Cody's top drawer, and that's the thing. The Wolves don't concede very many, so I think it's going to be really difficult. Villa have to stay switched on, set pieces, everything else. So I feel they have lapses of concentration. But if Wolves do get an early goal, or get the first goal, and Villa have to come out, that's when Villa could be vulnerable to the counter-attack. So I think first goal in this game always, really, really is such a big thing at a top level, and I think that will be key. But I think Wolves' system, you could pretty well nail Wolves' team all in all, maybe bar one or two players.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to you then about the team news and any changes you'd make from Bournemouth. Of course, the main one is Adama Traore. He started last night against West Ham. He came off the bench and had a brilliant impact. What would you do in the forward roles against Villa?
I think he's going to stick with Patricio. He'll always play Patricio in goal, Willy Bolly, Connor Cody, and Romain Saiss. That's given. Neves and Moutinho. I think he'll go Dendoncker as a three in midfield. Doherty on the right, Johnny Otto on the left, which means then I think he's going to go Diogo Jota and Raul Jimenez. And around the hour mark, always depending on how the game goes, injuries and what the score is, I then would not be surprised if you saw Neto and Traore with Jota going off, then Donker going off, and just tweaking the system. So I think he'll start with a 3-5-2 and flip to the 3-4-3.
That's interesting. I think it yesterday in terms of Villa, we saw what impact our subs can have. So if we'll have to be very careful in terms of dealing with the Traore, but at the same time, Villa have also got their danger man, like we talked about with Jack Grealish. There's no doubt that this is a tough game for Villa. This will be as tough as it was against Chelsea. And from a Villa fan point of view, I just want to see us go. I understand about the counter-attack, and that's where it gets really sticky with the Wolves, but I would like to see us go all out and try and get something from this. But then at the same time, like you mentioned about the counter-attack, we've got to be careful that we don't get caught out, especially with our defence.
Yeah, it's about balance, not going for it too early. Remembering, I'm not sure exactly what the goal difference is. I haven't got the Premier League table in front of me, but again, goal difference could play a part. It's so tight down there. But if they can go and get a result, if Villa can get a result, that will send, be a real blow to the other teams down there. Because at the moment, a lot of teams are dropping points. And I think a lot of people are thinking, with the quick volume of games, how strong Wolves are looking, he's talking about their bench and everything else. I think everyone's thinking, even though it's at Villa Park, everyone's thinking Wolves are going to go and win this. So if the
Yeah,
teams then
I
walk
totally
in,
understand that.
yeah, and if the teams walk in and see down there, oh, Villa have won, then that's a massive blow, and that could really start the belief and kickstart Aston Villa's season. But running out of games, you need to get that win and get that confidence back in the team.
Yeah, definitely. I think I always back Dean Smith in games where he needs to win it. Very finally, Matt, I just want to look at wrapping this up. Can I get an all-important score prediction from you?
Never ever bet against Wolves. So I'm going to say, come on, me babbies. I'm going to go for another clean sheet, and I'm going to go Aston Villa 0, and me babbies 2.
Okay. I'm going to go with, look, it's going to be a tough game. I've said this many times. We need to win because the points, you know, it's running. We can't let it run away from ourselves in the bottom 3. But I just don't see a win. I don't think a win's possible against Wolves. I think the quality is too much if I'm going with my head. So I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. I know draws don't really get you anywhere, but if those are the points that can separate the teams at the end of the season, then I'll certainly take it.
Say, Jude, I think it would be a valuable point if they got it. And I think if I'm really, really honest, and if you offered Dean Smith a point right now, I think he'd take it.
Okay, interesting stuff, Matt. Thank you so much for coming on and having a chat with me. It's been a pleasure to talk about Wolves and Aston Villa this season. And of course, a big match on Saturday. Hopefully, you're not the one that's celebrating too much. Come after the match. But thank you so much, Matt, for having a chat with me. If you did enjoy the video, guys, be sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new. I'm doing a lot more content at the moment with football back, but also trying to get more regular interviews out over Zoom, like I'm sort of doing with Matt now. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like. Like I say, leave your thoughts down below on the match. Wolves fans and Villa fans, score predictions, everything on the game. Until next time, goodbye and up with Villa.
Come on, me babbies. Thank you.
Hit the subscribe button and follow my journey to the media world. Click the video choices on screen to see more of my work.